Hello and welcome. You're watching This is Exclusive with me, Shavinson. Tonight on This is Exclusive, I come to you with two very special stories. The first, the Khilafat plot that has been exposed by the Delhi police. Tonight on This is Exclusive, we take you through the details of what is now being seen as one of the most successful operations being carried out by the Delhi police special cell. Why it remains a cause of concern, the modus operandi, and much more on this edition of This is Exclusive. Not just that, the other big story that we are tracking coming in from Nepal. Was this some sort of an organic protest? The Gen Z protesters saying that this was to uproot corruption in Nepal. Was this contaminated? We'll get you all this and much more, but first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Republic gets the inside details of Pakistan's sinister Khilafat agenda on Indian soil. Exclusive details on ISIS terror module breaking tonight. It's a massive multi-state operation with one plot to destabilize India. 5 terror suspects held more under radar. Nepal attempts to recover after spate of violent protests. Army facilitates talks on next interim head. Speculation over 3 names in the running.
This was the protest done by Gen Z people, and on September 8th it was done in front of Parliament. Protest was going pretty peaceful, and once we reached to the Parliament, violence started happening and police hit us with bullets.
Ashutosh Basnet, face of the Nepal protests, shot in the face and chest during protest, admits infiltration by external forces. Ladies and gentlemen, Delhi Police Special Cell has struck a decisive blow against the forces of radical terror. Tonight, we bring you an exclusive report on how high-stakes, multi-state operation that has unraveled a sinister ISIS-inspired network with deep ties to Pakistan. This, in fact, is a plot so audacious that it aimed to carve out a so-called Khilafat enclave right here on Indian soil. Over the last 72 hours, Delhi Police Special Cell, in a seamless joint effort with central intelligence agencies and state forces from Jharkhand to Telangana, has swooped down on suspected operatives, hauling in 5 key arrests. At the heart of this exposed blueprint is a radicalized cadre allegedly perpetrated by Pakistan-based handlers through encrypted social media channels who weren't just plotting blasts, they were methodical, recruiting impressionable youth in India, amassing funds to seize land and scheming to declare swaths of land as autonomous Khilafat zone. The kingpin, 23-year-old Ashar Danish, or quote-unquote postgraduate bomb expert. In fact, tonight on This is Exclusive, we peel through this entire investigation that has been carried out. But first, a quick wrap of what we know so far.
The Delhi Police Special Cell, in a joint operation with central agencies, has busted a suspected terrorist network. Following a series of coordinated raids across Delhi, Mumbai and Jharkhand, 5 individuals have been apprehended. The operation, which spanned over 6 months, began after officials received specific intelligence regarding the movements of the suspected terrorists acting on the tip. The special cell conducted simultaneous raids in multiple locations. In Delhi, the police arrested 2 suspects, Aftab and Sufyan, both residents of Mumbai. Another suspect, Ashraf Danish, was apprehended in a separate raid in Ranchi. According to special cell sources, Danish, a key member of the group, was operating the entire network in India and was also found to be in contact with foreign handlers via multiple social media accounts. He was allegedly in possession of chemicals used in bomb fabrication. The investigation has revealed a well-thought-out plan involving individuals from various states. Officials said the group was radicalizing and recruiting people in India using different social media accounts. The module was allegedly working with the intent of declaring India a part of Khilafat and engaging in targeted killings.
In a big win to the Delhi Police Special Cell, right now I'm joined by additional CP Pramod Kushwaha. What was the intelligence input you have received earlier, and based on which what we have seen that 5 persons have been arrested so far?
This was a joint operation with Central Intelligence Agency of India and other state ATS and police forces, particularly Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Telangana and Maharashtra. 5 persons have been arrested in this module. It was a pan-India terror module. Handler was a park handler who was directly in touch with the central character of this group, Asrar Danish, who is from Ranchi. We can say so far what has emerged from investigation, Asrar Danish was the central figure of this group. He is quite educated. He is MA in English Honours. From him we have recovered a lot of incriminating materials which is used for making IEDs. He was directly in touch with all these characters.
How did they come?
They were communicating with each other through social media encrypted chat applications. That was there so that they are not intercepted by any of the central agencies or state police forces.
The suspects are currently being interrogated to learn more about the full extent of the operation and their connections, including their Pakistan-based handlers.
Well, in fact, we'll now take you through the details of what I'm calling the postgraduate bomb expert, the mastermind, Ashish Danish. The alleged mastermind of the terror module kingpin Danish, in fact, details that we've got right now. These are sensational details of the Khilafat plot that has been accessed only with Republic TV. I'm going to first take you through the mastermind, who happens to be a postgraduate. In fact, we're going to tell you what exactly was he really up to. Now, what we are essentially learning is that on your screens right now, Asrar Danish, the mastermind, actually suffered an eye injury while he was making the IEDs. In fact, he was the one who was arrested from Ranchi. He was in a lodge, and from this very place, the Delhi Police Special Cell recovered several items, which includes chemical weapons and items that have been related to bomb making. Let me go across to my colleague Akhil, who's getting us the latest details as we stay with the breaking news now coming in with regards to the fact that this postgraduate bomb expert that you see on your screens, the same very person who suffered an eye injury, thereafter received medical treatment. I'll stay with this, Akhil. We're going to break it down over the next couple of minutes. First, with regards to the information that you have got linked to postgraduate bomb expert Danish, he suffered an eye injury. What more details do you have?
Well, Shaban, if you see, Danish was the kingpin of this entire module, which was running in the garb of basically operating not in the national capital region. Apart from that, if you see, this is a pan-India movement which was functional. And based on the central agency input, what we have got to know that the Delhi police basically sent their teams to respective states, including Telangana, including Maharashtra, including Jharkhand. And from Jharkhand, they have arrested this very person who has been identified as Danish. So for the last 5 months, Danish has been predominantly active in that region, and he has collected materials to create crude items. Apart from that, he has also created IEDs. So at that point in time, when the Delhi police special cell team received some input that Danish Danish location with the help of technical intelligence was identified in a lodge. After that, as a decoy customers, the Delhi police officials went over there and they have nabbed that person who has been identified as Danish. And Danish was the only person, Shravan, who was in touch with a Pakistani-based handler. So he was basically using some hawala money basically to operate in that nexus. So right now, Delhi police is also investigating on the financial trails of Danish, that how he was collecting money from several sources. Because if you see, this was not only planned in 5 states from where the arrests have been made. If you see, part of this has been functional in Bengaluru as well. Because if you see, the Delhi Police Special Cell Team, Shravan, has initially identified 11 suspects from Bengaluru South region. And after that, during the constant interrogation, they have found out that 7 of them have not got a confirmation. They have not got sufficient evidence. And after that, Delhi police have relieved them, and sustained interrogation of the 4 of the suspects is still going on. It's very likely that Delhi police team is going to interrogate further.
Akhil, hold on to your
people.
thoughts right now, because there's much more that we are now putting out. Details that we are now picking up, that this is not linked to just about 11 suspects who have been identified, but 40 suspects. They were active members of this particular group. All are now on the radar of the Delhi Police Special Cell as well as the central agencies, and in fact they've been using the Signal app. Only 5 were essentially aware that it was regarding a terrorist activity. Now they don't want to be identified, and hence they were pretending to be essentially students. Some of them were pretending to be students. They were in the process of capacity building, is what they've essentially said, in one of the groups that they had created. It was Signal app that was being used. Now, what we are being told, that this was a pan-India terror module which was only waiting to be activated. So states like Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, the national capital itself, and a few other states where they were essentially operating for. In fact, I'm going to get you more details right now. 2 of the accused went to Mewat and bought sophisticated weapons. They came to Delhi and were about to board the train from Nizamuddin to Mumbai when Special Cell nabbed them with the help of technical intelligence. Now, these 2 terrorists, that is Aftab and Abu Sufyan, they were arrested from Nizamuddin area. Both happen to be residents of Mumbai. I'm going to focus to the 3 points that are now emerging. One, that this is not limited to just about 5 of them who have been arrested, or 11 suspects. We are being told that at least 40 were part of a group that was being run on Signal app. And in fact, they also were disguised as students. They created a group which was essentially known as capacity building, so that they would not have come under the radar. In fact, Akhil getting us more details. Akhil, 3 aspects: sophisticated weapons procured from Mewat. Any more details? And then I'm going to also bring you in once again with regards to who were these 40 individuals. And it's not just about 11 suspects.
Well, Shravan, if you see, I was speaking to one of the senior officials in the Delhi Police Special Cell Department, and he has confirmed this to us, that during that investigation, they have found a commonality between all those suspects. And if you see, the age group of all those 40 persons who have been found suspected in this very case have been identified between the age group of 20 to 28. So all of them were young, radicalized mind. So they were trying to basically radicalize those who have got some so-called jihadist ideology, and they are Islamist followers. So right now, the Delhi police team is still continuously questioning those individuals with whom they have identified they have got certain links in Bengaluru as well. Apart from that, they have also identified few individuals in Mewat region. So it's very likely that the Delhi Police Special Cell team will, basically they have arrested 2 persons from Nizamuddin area who have come from Mewat region after basically getting 2 pistols, and they were not handmade guns. They were pretty modernized weapons that they have recovered from Mewat. So it's very likely that Delhi police team, Special Cell team will take both of the individuals to Mewat to cross-question those individuals and to find out the loops and the connecting links between those two persons and the persons who have been identified from Mewat. So who those two persons were who were basically supplying guns to these persons who were involved in this larger Khilafat racket. So right now, the information that we have received from Delhi police sources that it's very likely that, because if you see, Shravan, these two persons who have been arrested from Nizamuddin area are not from the Delhi-based origin. They are from Mumbai. So why did they come from Mumbai to execute this plan? And they went to, they basically arrived in Delhi, and then they went to Mewat of Haryana. And after that, after recovering pistols from there, then again they were trying to go back to Mumbai. So what was the reason behind it? So right now, Delhi police team is basically connecting the dots between all those 3 points, 3 links. And how did these 3 persons came in contact with the mastermind, who's the kingpin of this entire case, Danish. And if you see, Danish has been the only person who was in touch with the Pakistan-based handler. And if you see, Shravan, another interesting fact that has come out during the investigation is that there were 2 different groups on the Signal app. One group was for the core members of this entire Khilafat movement persons, and the group leader has basically identified himself as Ghazwa leader. So why that group was meant for only for the Crow groups, and the second group in which what we have got to learn that approximately 35 to 40 people were involved. So right now the Delhi police is looking from those angles that who all were in touch with Akhil regarding the very investigation.
Akhil, we're getting in more details of this entire operation. As I told you at the start of this show, that we're going to take you through every bit of details of the investigation that has been carried out. In fact, let's now turn our focus to the recoveries that have been made, and that will give you a sense of how big this plot was. Delhi Police Special Cell has recovered several items from these suspects. This was a calculated 6-month-long conspiracy that was born from a specific intel designed to sow terror through strikes and mass radicalization, while all of this was masquerading under the ISIS banner. Now, some of the items that have been recovered includes chemicals, IEDs, electrical equipment, gas masks, and sodium bicarbonate. That's what you have on your screens right now. These are specific details. Let's just stay with the visuals of the recoveries that have been made so far. Multiple items that have been recovered. Interestingly, chemicals which are particularly to be used for bomb making were actually recovered from their possession. Akhil, with regards to the recoveries that have been made, put this into context from where these items were recovered, from whom these items were recovered, and what was the larger plot.
See, Shravan, 3 key persons have been involved so far since the very beginning. 2 of them have joined this very movement at a later on stage. First one person, if you see, the person who has been arrested from Hyderabad, Kamran has joined this very group later on. But if you see Sufyan and Danish was the kingpin who was basically at the very beginning, who was basically in touch with the Pakistani handler. So when the Jharkhand ATS team arrived at the very location, they have found out that large number from that very large number 15, that person has basically procured a large amount of sulfur. Apart from that, he has also got materials to create IEDs, and he was in the process of making bombs. This is what we have got to know from the Delhi Police Special sources, that we have basically brought them to justice at a very initial stage. If we have given him more time, then it could be very dangerous. This is what additional CP Pramod Kushwaha told us. And if you see, it's very likely that in the very process, what we have got to learn, that they have already started the capacity building program. So in the next few months, it could be very disastrous if this could have missed. So with the help of central agency input, what we have seen, that Delhi Police Special Cell team, apart from that, they have basically in close tandem with Jharkhand ATS, Maharashtra ATS, Telangana ATS, and Madhya Pradesh ATF, they have, with a collaborated effort, they have basically executed this plan in which 5 persons have been arrested so far, and there are 11 suspected, and right now the questioning is still going on with them, Shravan.
Well, in fact, I'll just request you to stay on with us right now before I move to the other breaking news coming in. How were the details being sent across by the Pakistani handlers? Because I'm given to understand that they had also shared some details of bomb making, and this came in right from Pakistan. Is that true?
That's right, Shaban. If you see, he has been constantly sending, the Pakistani-based handler has been constantly sending Danish messages through Signal app. Apart from that, the Delhi police team, which has recovered a laptop, apart from that, several phones have also been recovered. From those phones, what we have got to know that they have also recovered some videos. And in those videos, there is a process of making bombs that has been revealed. So right now, the constant sustained interrogation of those individuals are still going on. So many more details will come out in the investigation, because if you see, initially, the main accused was arrested yesterday itself. So it's just 24 hours. And right now, what we have seen, the Delhi police has got its police custody. So it's
right.
In the police custody, Delhi police is going to interrogate those individuals to connect the dots.
Well, in fact, the focus now shifts to Karnataka. The latest details that we have is that they've expanded the investigation, and the Delhi Police Special Cell has identified at least 11 suspects from Bengaluru itself. 7 of them were basically let off due to lack of evidence, but they say that there is much more than what meets the eye, and that's why the focus is essentially right now in Karnataka. The kingpin happens to be from Jharkhand, and he was in touch with Pakistan-based handler Kamran Qureshi, was arrested from Madhya Pradesh, Rajgarh. Huzaifa Yemen was arrested from Hyderabad. Now, 11 suspects, they were detained in Bangalore, and 7 were basically let off. But they say that Karnataka happens to be one state that they are keeping a close watch on, because the number of communication had only increased amongst the modus operandi. If we can also put out the breaking news now coming in, Pak-based handlers were directly in touch with those who were based out of Bengaluru. In fact, we are now going to put out details of how they had expanded and why exactly these few states happen to be their focus areas. What really happened in Karnataka, Akhil, because we are given to understand the investigation, the ambit of the entire investigation has widened. They're looking at Karnataka. 11 were detained, but few of them were let off.
Well, Shaban, if you see a point-blank question I asked the senior officials in the special cell department regarding that whether this is an isolated event or there is an extended chain of event that is basically connected to this entire Khilafat movement that these individuals are running. So the answer we have got that the person who has been identified as the mastermind of this entire case basically avoided himself as connecting to any kind of network, whether it's ISIS central module or ISIS, if you see the hybrid module which we have been seeing, which has got some links. Initially, if you see the Rameshwar Blast Cafe that we have seen in the recent past, in which the accused individuals have identified that they had got some connection with LET. But here in this case, what we have got to know that these individuals did not want to basically identify themselves associated with any kind of organization. So they have basically recreated themselves as an individual group, and they have proclaimed that they are self-radicalized, and they wanted to get some land not only in the national capital area. Apart from that, what we have got to know that during these 5 states, they were basically trying to
In fact, Akhil, I'll just quickly take our viewers to the first response coming in from the Delhi Police Special Cell. In fact, they are now saying that direct links have emerged with Pakistan. This is the Additional Commissioner of Police, P.S. Kushwaha, speaking to Republic TV. Listen in to what he says with regards to what's the Pakistan link here.
In a big win to the Delhi Police Special Cell, right now I'm joined by Additional CP Pramod Kushwaha. What was the intelligence input you have received earlier, and based on which what we have seen that 5 persons have been arrested so far?
This was a joint operation with Central Intelligence Agency of India and other state ATS and police forces, particularly Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Telangana and Maharashtra. 5 persons have been arrested in this module. It was a pan-India terror module. Handler was a Pak handler who was directly in touch with the central character of this group, Asrar Danish, who is from Ranchi. We can say so far what has emerged from investigation, Asrar Danish was the central figure of this group. He is quite educated. He is MA in English Honours. From him we have recovered a lot of incriminating materials which is used for making IEDs. He was directly in touch with all these characters.
Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. Coming up, trending with my colleague Rakshit.
Co-powered by Century.